Hello and welcome to a very, very special episode of the Rats Get Fat podcast. I am your host, Zuzz Rains, and I'm joined by...
I'm Jake Straat.
And we are down in the lovely regional town of Casino, New South Wales. We've stopped in a very iconic shop and we've got a very special guest today. We are talking to the ever wonderful Pete Davidson.
Hey Pete, how are ya?
Oh, very well, thanks. How are you guys?
We're lovely.
Yeah,
That's the way. We've driven a long way to come and talk to you.
you sure have.
Yeah.
And has it been a good drive?
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's really lovely down here. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tablelands.
Yeah,
near
right,
Cairns.
eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
real hilly and
Yeah,
farm.
and green and that.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
lovely. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because were you always living in Casino?
No. I was in Lismore
Oh,
for
okay.
30 years,
Yep.
33 years, and we got flooded out there, so we moved out here.
Yes.
But I originally came from Sydney.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Holy.
Our friend Al we kind of rang him on the drive down here and he kind of gave us a little bit of insight sort of to some information about you and stuff. And he said that you were working at the Cross.
Yeah, King's Cross.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I worked there in 1974 and 1975.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you working at Sleeve Masters?
No, the Sleeve Masters wasn't invented then.
Okay.
Oh, really? Before
I
Sleep Masters?
was before them.
Holy.
Wow.
That's sick.
Because how did you get your start tattooing, Pete?
I started in Melbourne with Danny Robinson and Bev Robinson, who's known as her real name Cindy Ray, her tattoo name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I started with them, and then I moved back to Sydney
Mm.
because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to open a shop in Sydney, so I went over saw on the movies Go West, Young Man.
Yeah?
So I went over to Perth,
Oh.
and there was a tattooist already there, so I opened in Fremantle.
Wow.
That
Oh.
was 13 miles south of Perth.
Yeah. Holy.
Was Ricky Luda operating then?
No, Ricky Luda was a merchant seaman, then I used to tattoo him.
Wow, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Holy.
So I tattooed him way before he was a tattooist.
Yeah.
He got into tattooing in Hong Kong.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Holy.
Wow, that's incredible. So you got your start in Melbourne and then you went west.
Yeah.
What brought
yeah.
you back out this way?
My son was born in Perth,
Mm-hmm.
and all the relatives wanted to come back this side of the world.
Sure.
So we came back,
Yeah.
and I got a job in King's Cross
Yeah, wow.
with Wally Hammond.
Sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
Wally Hammond.
Yeah, he's long gone now, Wally.
Yeah.
But Wally was a colour king.
Okay.
Yeah, he had all the best colours around, and
Wow.
while I was working there, all the tattooists was asking me to get his colour numbers for him.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was a different scene in those days.
Yeah.
You had to buy colour from dye companies,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to have the numbers
Yeah.
for them, the code numbers.
Yeah.
And because they had to be non-toxic.
Oh.
And Wally knew all that. He had his best friend was a scientist,
Oh.
and a chemical scientist, and he checked it all out for him.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
You had the good
So
colours.
everyone was I had phone calls from Melbourne saying, Pete, find out where you got that blue from.
Well, yeah, back
Yeah.
back in those days, it was with the Australian tattooers. It was, as Mo was telling us, no one told anyone anything.
No.
It was all top
Yeah.
secret.
Mm.
Another thing about you just mentioned Mo. Mo used to come down from Brisbane to see me when I was in King's Cross
Yeah.
and bring his machines with him, and I used to tune them for him.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Holy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Al said that you're a machine guy.
yeah,
Yeah, real good with it.
yeah,
Do you still use coils?
yeah. I use coils.
Hell yeah.
I like the other ones, the rotaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used a couple of them. I think if they had been around 40 years, 50 years ago, I would have used them.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, because real smooth ride with them
Yeah.
Yes,
compared
absolutely.
to the coils.
Yeah. I guess you got to use whatever's practical,
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I just use the coils because that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I go to all the conventions and I stand at the door and I don't hear a sound,
Yeah.
and I think, wow, this is a tattoo convention. In the old days, you couldn't hear yourself talk for the noise of the coils.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's
it's
exactly
a different scene now.
Yeah, it would have been deafening back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah, poor Mo's got tinnitus from his machines,
yeah,
from
yeah,
operating with tiles and like his tattoo machines.
Yeah.
He's fully
yeah,
nearly deaf because of
Yeah.
it.
yeah. He's a great bloke, mate.
He is.
Yeah, magic bloke. Yeah,
For
he
sure.
years ago when we were in, both in Brisbane, he I tattooed his arms. I did oriental work on his arms,
Oh, really?
and he coloured my back in. I had a back job off Danny Robinson in Melbourne,
Yeah.
Okay.
and an outline and black shading, and I couldn't get back there.
Yeah.
So I rang Danny up and said, would it be all right if Mo coloured it in? And he said, yeah, not a problem. So Mo coloured my back. I used to go there every Monday night,
Mm.
and he'd do some on my back and I'd do some on his arms.
Yeah, I remember Mo was telling
Yeah.
us about that. You guys
Yeah.
were swapping.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
if he did 1 hour, I'd do 1 hour. If he
Yeah.
did 3, I'd do 3.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
cool. It's cool being able to swap tattoos with other
yeah,
tattooers.
it was great. Yeah,
It's awesome. We're
Yeah.
always tattooing each other. It's
yeah,
sick.
Yes.
yeah, it's good.
Oh, it's always fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Because were you operating in Brisbane?
Yeah. I was in the Valley first, and then I moved out to Nunda. I was in Brisbane for 13 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had I've been all over the place. Yeah. After I left King's Cross, I was with Les Bowen in Liverpool,
Yeah.
in Sydney. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then then from there I went to Brisbane.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Les Bowen is a really sharp fella
Oh yeah.
for his age. We
yeah, he's very clearly.
we went down and spoke to him in Townsville, and I couldn't believe the stories he was telling us.
Yeah, yeah. He was. I've seen him take down interviewers and everything. Yeah, we had an interview in a pub in Newtown in Sydney.
Yeah.
They were going to try and the bloke was called Peter Couchman,
Okay.
and it was like a current affairs program,
Oh, really?
and he wanted to take us down because there was a lot of he had things on his show showing bad tattooing and that. And he was saying all these young blokes are being exposed to this tattooing and blah blah. So Les got up and put him unbelievable how he put him in his place.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah,
great.
he out talked him, and he was wittier than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bloke didn't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's sharp.
Yeah,
Les
yeah.
Bowen's really sharp.
Yeah.
Even in his
Oh.
80s, he's
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it was great to talk to him.
yeah.
He's a really
Very,
interesting
very
dude.
knowledgeable.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, 100%.
And, very well educated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And probably you could probably say a gentleman.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as well, he was a really crucial part of Australian tattoo history.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
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 100%.
Well, the bloke that started me in Melbourne, Danny Robinson, Les Bowen started him in Brisbane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Les kicked him off, and then he went to move to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Danny Robinson was like a guitar player in a band, and he'd
Yeah.
go around.
Country and Western.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
with what's that famous one that sings about
Slim Dusty.
Slim
Yeah.
Dusty, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red
true.
back on the toilet seat. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They were just about to record Slim Dusty's biggest record,
Yeah.
and Slim did the dirty on him. They were all excited about it, and he went to a studio and got a studio band to record it with him because it sounded better.
No
Okay.
way.
Yeah, than the old hillbilly band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Danny said he said that was I nearly had a claim to fame. He said, but I missed out.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Did you ever have anything to do with Bill Phillips?
Yeah, I love Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time with Bill. He was really good with me. A lot of other tattooists didn't want anything to do with him
Oh.
because of his reputation and that.
Yes.
But mate, he was unbelievable with the relationship I had with him. He treated my family and my wife with the utmost respect,
Yeah.
and he treated me with respect. And that's all I could. The way he treated me that's all I needed. I treat him back the same way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we had a great time together, me and Bill.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
He seems to come up in a lot of the podcasts with the older guys.
Yeah.
And he was either tattooing tattooers, or he was, everyone's got a story about Bill Phillips.
Yeah, he was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was. I don't want to run him down or anything, but he was 90% on the bad side and 10% on the good side.
Well, that was what tattooing was, though, right?
Yeah,
Back in the day.
Yeah. Bill held his own against anyone.
Because what brought you into it? What was the
Well, a lot of people that wouldn't believe this, but when I was 14 and 15, all the guys used to come to my place in Sydney on a Friday night, all my friends, and I'd do felt pen drawings all over them. Yeah, because we all wanted to be tattooed.
Sick.
I suppose because the milk bar we hung around, that was called Rube's Milk Bar in Rockdale in Sydney,
Okay.
and across the road was the Domino Milk Bar, and they were older blokes and they all had tattoos.
okay?
And we used to go over and have a look at them, but they wouldn't let us in there
Yeah.
because that was their milk bar, yeah? So we hung around the one across the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just had a jukebox and a pinball. They had 2 or 3 pinballs and a louder jukebox. and they had bikes parked out the front.
No way.
Yes.
And we had nothing because we were like 13, 14, 15. Yeah. And that's how I first got interested in tattoos, looking at theirs.
For sure.
That was your first exposure to tattooing?
Yeah, and all the tattoos that I saw on them were done by Alex Chater in Sydney.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in Paddington in Sydney.
Yep.
And it got me real interested, yeah?
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they would have been probably really rough and tumble blokes at the other milk bar.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
But we liked them.
Yes.
But because, we sort of looked up to them a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mystique about that.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Well, the same with the tattoo shops in the old days.
Mm.
I used to love looking for a tattoo shop rather than being exposed to one, like, you go downtown now and there's big signs everywhere and flash art on windows and all that, and you can see all the shops. I used to love it when you had to listen for a machine
Yeah.
and
Yes.
go up an alley. I used to go up little alleys in Melbourne
Sick.
and find tattooists down in basements and things like that.
Yeah. Wow.
It was great, huh?
Yeah.
It was sort of made it more mystery about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
bit
it
of
was
an
like-
adventure.
Yeah, you kind of like finding something special.
Yeah, that's right.
And you had to physically be there to find it.
That's it. Yeah,
know.
there was no phone book ads or anything like that.
Mm.
Because where
Yeah.
did you get your first tattoo? So you saw these young guys at
Yeah.
the milk bar and they had all
Yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah, well, I got one. My first one I got at 14
Yeah. Wow.
because Alex Chater wouldn't do a lot of underage blokes. Well, I went in there first in the Paddington.
Yep.
And he kicked me out. So I went to East Hills in Sydney.
Yep.
And there was Bob and Pete tattooing there.
Okay.
And they looked at me and said, "How old are you?" I said, 18. He said, "Righto, sit down." And he used to say, if you're talking to your mate, nearly side by side getting tattooed, because there was no health regulations in those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had a bucket between them where they rinsed their machines out in. And he'd say that if I was talking to me mate, he'd say, "Hey, shut up while I'm tattooing you." And you say, "Okay."
Holy. What did you get? What was your first tattoo?
A little tattoo with mum in it, a swallow.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah, with mum and a scroll. And when I showed her, she said, "I don't like tattoos, but at least you got me written in there, so
Aw.
that's
Yeah.
all right."
That was
Yeah,
smart.
That is smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is smart. Whereabouts did you get it on your body?
On my left upper arm.
Have you still got it or have you
Yeah,
covered it?
Yeah, no, I still got it. I'd never get rid of that.
No. Oh, that's it there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Holy.
It's a bit smothered in now with other tattoos beside it, but it's still there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and then later when I became a tattooist, I became friends with them, with Bob and Pete.
Oh, that's cool.
And Big Peter, I used to say, he was a professional boxer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Big Pete.
Yeah, and I said to him one day, I said, "You did this on me, Pete?" And he looked and he went, "No, I wouldn't have done that." And I said, yeah, you did. And he said, "No," he said, I don't do shit work like that. And I said, "You did it." And he wouldn't wear it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mo was telling us stories about Big Pete.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a professional fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then turned tattoo, a big dude.
Yeah, he was about, he was heavyweight.
Yes.
And he was the heaviest heavyweight in Australia.
Yeah.
But he got disqualified from boxing for hitting the ref.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He got disqualified he belted the ref. The ref made the other bloke win, so Big Peter
Holy.
hit him, and they disqualified him for life. But when TV Ringside came out, the Australian show, they needed boxers, so they came and gave him back his licence so he could go on TV Ringside.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was years later. He didn't do any good then because he was older and out of
Yeah.
nick, you know.
Yeah.
But when he was fighting, he was, in old terms, he was 16 stone
Wow.
and slim, just a big man.
Yeah.
You know, that's when he used to tattoo me when he was like that.
Okay.
That's
A-
crazy.
And he had a tattoo shop in East Hills in Sydney, and we'd go out there on a train in the morning, and you'd jump off the train while it was still going because there was a hole in the fence near his shop, you know, 1 street away.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do that, it was about a mile to walk back to his shop.
Oh, no way.
Okay.
So we'd leap off the train and keep running, hit the deck and run,
That's
and
crazy.
straight through the hole in the fence. And you'd go and you'd sit out in his yard and wait for him to come to the shop. You know, he had a shop in his backyard,
Yeah.
and he'd come out and he'd look at us all and he'd say, "No swearing. My mother's coming down here with a cup of tea for me. Anyone swears," he said, "I'll take you out." And we'd say, "Okay."
Yeah, you won't be on the wrong side
yeah,
of that.
no.
Professional fighter.
They were great days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great
Yeah,
days.
and then later when I became a tattooist, I became real good friends with him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his partner Bob Woods, he was a great bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to build real good tattoo machines and all that, and he used to draw all the designs they had. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
they were magic blokes.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been a
Yeah.
magic time. What year roughly was this?
In the 60s, probably, well, I'm 77 now,
Mm-hmm.
and I was 14, 15,
Okay.
16,
Yeah.
going to East Hills,
Sure.
getting tattooed.
Holy.
Jumping off trains.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
it was nearly stopped. It was at if the front carriage was just on the edge of the platform, starting the platform, so the brakes were on, but we'd jump off, we'd get on the back carriage and jump off so we could run through the hole in the fence.
Yeah.
And then the one year we went out there and they had the fence fixed.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And we couldn't jump off, then we had to get off and walk up the steps and walk around.
Oh,
Oh,
bastards.
no.
Yeah, the mongrels.
Yeah, they fixed the fence.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? How often were you getting tattooed, Pete?
Whenever we could afford it.
Yes.
Yeah, I left school at 14.
Mm-hmm.
I had the first tattoo while I was still at school.
Yeah.
And I had to hide it from all the teachers and that. But I left school when I was 14, so I got a job not long after that. The first job I had was I was a nameplate printer and engraver
Okay.
in the city of Sydney.
Yep.
And in Central. And I used to get about I think £7 a week for that. So
Wow.
I had money for tattoos, and so I used to go out nearly every Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was no appointments. You just had to go and get on the queue. So we just get on a real early train when it was still nearly dark.
Yeah.
So we get in first, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sick.
And he'd let you drink bottles of beer in the yard, but
Okay.
you weren't allowed to swear.
Yeah.
No. No. That's incredible, hey?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. So it was he was had us educated not to swear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's almost like everyone would assume that guy wouldn't have been a positive role model,
Yeah.
and obviously he's letting kids drink beer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the no swearing thing,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah, he didn't want his swear in front of his mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mind
that's
your
a-
manners.
No, but yeah, it was a
Yeah.
positive thing when tattooing was so like revered and feared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were a bit nervous about it.
Yeah, I used to love it then in those days. It's really different now. It's a real art form now. In those days, it was something you searched for and got put on your skin.
Yes.
And it was like a rebellious type of thing.
Yeah. Mm.
But today it's, you don't have to rebel to get a tattoo. Today it's a real body art form, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. When I first took up tattooing, if you tattooed one woman a week, you were known as a tattooist that tattooed women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now today we get more women than guys in here.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Tattoos, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just the roles are reversed, and the women get them on their hands and everything. They
Mm.
didn't dare do that in the old days.
No.
Yeah.
It was just not heard of, yeah.
For sure.
Because you were a young person getting tattooed as often as you could. What sort of prompted you to kind of start heading in the direction of becoming a tattooer yourself, Pete?
I just always wanted to be. Yeah, I was always drawing tattoo designs. Like when I got into tattooing, I rang up from Sydney. I went to Tony Cohen's shop. I was getting an eagle on my chest,
Okay.
and I saw a business card on his wall, and it was Danny Robinson's. So I memorised it, and I went out to the car and wrote it down, and then I rang him from Sydney, and told him I wanted to get into tattooing and that, and he said, "Oh, well, we don't just put anybody in tattooing. We've got to know you." And he said, "We've got to see what you're like, what sort of a person you are."
Yes.
He said, "We don't want any dickheads in tattooing."
Yes.
I said, "Yeah, righto." So he said, come down and see us." So I saved up some money for an airfare, and I went down and took my suitcase with me. I had a suitcase full of designs.
Yep.
And he said to me, "Show us your artwork." And I opened the suitcase, and he said, "I can't look through all that." He said, "I'll be here for a month." And he said, "They're all drawn in felt pen." He said, "That's no good." And he was bagging them and that. And then he said to me, "This is the best test." He said, "I've got a bit of paper and a pencil here. Draw me an eagle flying and put shade in the wings." He said, "Like my one's on the wall." I said, "Yeah, righto." So I did that, and he was tattooing a bloke while I was doing it. And then he said, he had a look at it, and he said, "Well, you come all the way from Sydney." He said, "You might as well come home with me." And I said, "Right." So he took me home, and he yelled out to Bev when he got there. He said, "We've got another mouth to feed, Pete, from Sydney." And that was it. That's how I got an introduction into tattooing.
Wow.
With Danny.
Well, it
Yeah.
would have shown him by you leaving Sydney, saving all your money and coming to
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
It would have shown him that you had
Yeah.
the want to do it and the
Yeah.
hunger.
Yeah, another thing too that he liked was I got there in the morning to his shop and just walked in and put my bag down and just sat there and waited.
Okay.
I didn't tell him who I was. And I told him at 5 o'clock at night, and he said, "Why didn't you tell me? I would have looked straight away at your gear." I said, "Oh, no." I said, "Just you had customers, mate. I didn't want to interfere with them."
No,
And he went, "Oh, thank you."
that's respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very respectful.
yeah. So that was how I hit it off with Dan.
Where was Dan tattooing? Like, where was his
in,
shop?
He was in Williamstown
Okay.
in Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just out on the bay. You know, we're just it's about half an hour's drive out of Melbourne.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It's a really interesting.
Yeah.
And then you began your apprenticeship.
Yeah. They didn't have apprentices in those days. They just sold you equipment and helped you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sold me some equipment. You know, I had money on me too. I took money down with me.
Yep.
And I got the money. Before that, I was thinking about buying a block of land. So I bought a block of land at Gosford in Sydney,
Okay.
north of Sydney. And then when I got married, I said to Nola, "I want to be a tattooist." And she said, "Yeah, I know." And she said, "I can tell." And I said, "Can I sell a block of land and buy some tattoo equipment?" She said, "Yeah, go for it." So I sold the block of land and went to Melbourne.
Nice.
And got into it. And Danny said that when I opened my first shop in Perth, for Fremantle, I'd only done 6 or 7 tattoos.
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I opened a shop and I put a big sign on it saying Sydney's leading tattooist. Opening years. And the local tattooist out there, Bobby Thornton, he came around and said, "I was hanging to see who Sydney's leading tattooist was." He said, "I've never heard of you." And then I told him the truth then.
Yeah.
And he just laughed.
That's so
And
good.
we became mates, yeah.
That's good.
Same with him. I used to go up to his studio in Perth, and I tattoo him there, and then he'd come down to mine in Fremantle and tattoo me.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a lot of Bobby Thornton work on me.
Sick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, you'd done 6 or 7 tattoos and you'd gone out west to just open a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went over there because I asked a few Sydney tattooists, and they said, "Oh, there's no one in Perth."
Okay.
So I went over there, and they were nearly telling the truth. There was only one,
Yep.
Yeah.
Bobby Thornton, and he had an English tattooist with him called Basil Jarvis,
Okay.
and they used to work together. You know, Basil taught Bob a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
yeah, and just magic going back into history.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is
and
magic.
when Bob was always in trouble with drugs and things,
Mhm.
Okay.
and he did a lot of time in Fremantle Prison, which is now a museum.
Yeah, wow.
And they let him paint the walls when he was in there with the tattoo art
Really?
in his cell.
Sick.
Yeah, and they kept it, and it's part of the museum tour now.
No way.
Yeah, Ricky Luda contacted me a few years ago and told me about it. He said that we're doing a tour with Perth, Fremantle,
Mm.
and he said part of the tour is the Fremantle jail.
Yeah.
And he said they want to know, can we use your name because you and Bob Thornton were mates, and Bob had put one of my bits of art on the wall that he
Oh, really?
did in Fremantle.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, off his own body that I tattooed on him, he copied it onto the wall.
Wow.
And so I had to put my name in too, plus being part of the history there.
Mm.
The local council did a 100-year history of Freo, and that included tattooists. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We're heading over there in August.
Yeah.
And we might actually we've got a couple of days off, and I'd love to go on that tour and check it out.
Yeah, go and have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Bob was he was a villain, but what a nice bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seem to get along with all the bad blokes.
Sure.
I seem to hit it off with them. Like people warn me, stay away from Billy Phillips, and I ended up being a real good mate of his.
Yeah.
In Perth, they said, "Oh, Bobby Thornton's nothing but trouble," and I became a good mate of his.
Yeah.
So
Tattooers stick together though.
yeah.
No matter sort of where we are in this
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I just look deeper into them than what people say.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I think as well, people are quick to judge when it comes to, well, back in the day with like tattooers and would have tattoos on their arms and stuff. So they would be quick to assume that they are a bad person.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so
Yeah.
like cut and dry.
No, you're right, because when I got my first shop in Lismore, I got that from Brisbane. You know, a bloke that was in a bike club
Mm.
had a bike shop 2 doors away.
Yeah.
And I told him I was at a bike show in Brisbane, and I said to him, I wouldn't mind coming and moving to Lismore because my in-laws live there,
Yeah.
and they're getting on a bit, and we'll move there and look after them. And he said, "Oh, I'll have a look for a shop for you." And I said, "Oh, no, don't do that." I said, "I want to look for myself." A day later, he rang me. He said, "There's a shop two doors away," and
Oh,
it was
really?
really cheap rent. So I came down and had a look, and the bloke that owned the shop had an interview with me and my wife, and his wife took my wife into another room,
Mm.
and he interviewed me, and then he told me the truth about it later.
Yeah.
He said he didn't know if he could talk to a bloke covered in tattoos
Wow.
because he was religious,
Okay.
and he said, but he said, I found out that by talking to you, he said, I accept you as a tenant.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad he could see past that.
Yeah. He was a pretty fair bloke.
Yeah.
He was an old famous cricketer.
Really?
Yeah, they named an oval after him in Lismore and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was Harold Crozier was his name.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look in history of cricket, you'll find his name in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because when did you move from? So you opened your studio in Lismore,
Yeah.
and you were operating out of there for? Did you say 30 years?
Yeah, over 30, yeah.
Yeah.
But we opened on the 26th of April in 1990.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and we moved out here in about 3 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
Was it
so-
after the flooding of Lismore?
No, we moved before the flood.
Okay.
We wanted to come out here because Angie, my daughter, lives out here,
Yes.
and I was getting a bit long in the tooth, so I thought, well, before I fall off the perch, I'll go out and open a shop in Casino.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that, and then the floods came.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good timing.
So, yeah, it was good, but we lost our house in
Yeah, I heard
Lismore.
about
I was
that.
living over there.
It's
We
rough.
were right to the ceiling. I was going past our house in a boat looking down at it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was an experience and a half.
Yeah. That would have been
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
We.
I lost a lot of tattoo stuff in that.
Oh yeah.
I had 26 albums of all tattoo photos, tattoo cards, tattoo conventions, because I used to swap photos with people overseas,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I had Dutch conventions in there, all conventions from all over Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I had photo albums of them. They all went in the flood, and no copies.
Man. Well, yeah, like who's to even think that that would even happen?
Yeah.
So no one's gonna.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Because
Hard.
we were talking to our friend Zara Ryan. She's at Mermaid Beach, West Side,
Yeah.
and she was. I think her mum was living out here, and in Lismore, and it was just a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just an absolute nightmare and a total freak accident.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was unbelievable. We were going up the main street in a boat,
Yeah.
pouring rain.
Wow.
Just the clothes we had on. We just escaped with pajamas and things,
No way.
and no shoes, and it pelting down rain, freezing cold, and just looking out at everyone. We were all in the same boat. Everyone was identical. They were all had nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
So
horrible.
I was just lucky I had the shop out here because I would have lost the shop and the house.
Yes.
100%.
If we lost the house, at least we had the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Holy.
So I live out here now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Casino.
Yeah, it is nice.
Casino, New South Wales, regional. It's,
Yeah, we like it.
yeah.
It's a like a cattle town and that, but it's
Yep.
it's nice,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfect. It
Yeah.
seems like a really nice place to live, Pete.
Yeah, everyone's real polite here.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, people say hello to you,
Yeah.
and even people that come here to get a tattoo off me from other places, they comment. They say, "Oh, gee, it's a long time since somebody says good day to me on the street."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that with the smaller country towns and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's. Did you find that it was slower work though, being
Yeah.
in casino?
Yeah, it's a lot slower. Yeah,
Than yeah.
It's not capital cities are the go for tattoos.
Yeah.
For,
Sure.
for going for it now. I find Lismore was quieter than Brisbane,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and now casino's quieter than what Lismore was.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just one of them things, but I don't actually mind. It's pretty good. It's I've never been so casual in tattooing. I used to be
Yes.
busy all the time, and now I just wander about. I can go for a cup of coffee and go for a walk down the road and come back again, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of the age I am, I don't mind it too.
It's a bit cruisier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't got the energy like I used to have
Mm.
for tattooing. Some days I'd work. When I worked at King's Cross, I was on the night shift, and I'd start at 1 o'clock in the day, and work till whenever. There was no set hours,
Yeah.
and
holy.
sometimes we were there till 2 in the morning.
Mm.
And when we knocked off, we'd go straight down to a club called the Venus Room.
Yeah.
That was open all night. It closed at 7 in the morning. And we get in there and have a few drinks. You come out yawning and daylight. And
Holy.
you go, wow.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah. And then you had to back up again that night tattooing, yeah?
That's
And
crazy.
it was all
Yeah.
it all walk-ins when you were in King's Cross?
Yeah, King's Cross was all walk-ins.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had a few dramas there too with walk-ins.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, people would come in and stand over the people that weren't so boisterous,
Mm.
waiting for us out. They'd try and stand over them.
To get in sort of in front of them?
I'm before you, mate, aren't I? And we had to stick up for the people now, so we
Yeah.
had a few run-ins with people now.
Yeah.
But it was, it was just, well, it taught me to handle people properly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, tattoo shops can be, I don't know, a really interesting place to deal with people.
Yeah, aren't
Yeah.
You know, like
they? Yeah. Well, there's all walks of life, and they come in with different attitudes, and
Mm.
if you suggest things to them, they think you're trying to talk them out of getting what they want and all this. And
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they get a bit funny about it.
Yeah. They get defensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's good. It's good. You learn to handle people,
100%.
but when you knock off work, you hide from them.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sure. yeah, it's
Yeah, you only hang around with your own crew.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's still like that.
yeah.
We-
But it's been an interesting journey, I'll tell you, with me
Yeah.
in tattooing. I've just tattooed people all parts of their body,
Mm.
everywhere, and it's been interesting all the way.
Yeah.
When I was in King's Cross, I was tattooing a priest, an apprentice priest.
Wow.
They had a priest school just not far from King's Cross,
Mhm.
and they'd go there to train, and I tattooed a bloke. His name was Ted Bailey, and he was from Perth, and he was over there doing the priesthood training, and he started getting tattooed, and I ended up covering nearly his whole body, and then he pulled out of being a priest. He didn't take the final vows.
No.
Holy.
What was he getting tattooed?
Just anything.
Any any evil stuff?
No, no.
Yeah.
No, see, in those days, there was very rare you did a full body suit of one theme.
Okay.
You did ships, dragons, butterflies, just things like tattoo walls,
Yeah.
tattoo flash on people.
Yeah. Anything.
And
everything.
jamming them in together and that,
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, of course, you do your own fill-in. You do clouds and water and things like that.
Yeah.
I did things like that, but it wasn't like today. You didn't sit down and plan something out for somebody.
No.
But today, people come here now and ask me about things, and I draw it for them, plan it out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they come back and have a look, and if they like it, they get the tattoo, yeah?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but the most of the modern tattooists now do it on a machine, don't they?
On the iPad.
On the iPad, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't use one of them, so I've still got to use my hand and my eyes and that.
It's good. Keeps you sharp.
Do it on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it
Yeah.
keeps you sharp.
yeah,
It's the best way. Paper.
Yeah.
It is the best way.
Yeah. You still painting Flash?
Yeah, I still do them.
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got quite the collection. We were
Yeah.
having a look at them
Yeah,
before.
when you're out there, there's those books on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the latest ones I've done.
Holy.
I did when COVID was on. Got about 3 of those albums done.
Wow.
I just sat at home and drew them,
Yeah.
and I sat out the back with playing real loud music and drinking wine and doing drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you listening to?
Oh, just all different stuff. I had 25 CDs
Yeah.
of Pete Wells, the lead guitarist out of the Rose Tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. When he left Rose Tattoo, he made all these albums, and I had all of them.
Sick.
And because he used to write a lot of the Rose Tattoo music too,
Yes.
Mm.
and he owned a tattoo shop in Sydney.
Yep.
He wasn't a tattooist, but he owned the shop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was our connection. See,
Right.
yeah, he used to send music to me and say, "Play this while you're tattooing."
Sick.
Yeah, and so I had all them. I used to listen to them. I used to listen to Pink Floyd, all stuff like that. Yeah,
Sick.
Good music to paint Flash to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Just rock, but a little bit on the heavy side.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just went and saw Rose Tattoo in Adelaide.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was tattooing down in Adelaide, and
yeah.
Rose Tattoo came on tour.
Yeah.
And I went and saw him. It was a great show.
Yeah.
But the next day, I was at the airport flying back to Cairns, and they were all there. And I was wearing the Rose Tattoo T-shirt, and the guitar tech came up to me. He said, "Oh, rock and roll, mate. Did you like the show?" I said, "Yeah, it was awesome." He said, "Come over and meet all the guys." But I was a bit too nervous,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
didn't. I was like, "Oh no, it's all right."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I've met Angry a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a lot to do with us. We when I was at the Byron Bay shop, there was a little kid dying of cancer out there. So we did a few things for him. Donated money to him and tattooed people, for competitions and things for him to get money.
Yep.
And his last request was he wanted to see the 4 baldies. He had a bald head. I had a bald head. Zach had a bald head that
Yeah.
worked with me, and he wanted Angry Anderson. He liked him.
Yeah.
He liked his music, and the boy was only 13. So Make-A-Wish got Angry Anderson up to Byron Bay.
Sick.
And we got a hire car and took him out in it. And we were driving around all the streets and that. And Angry Anderson put his arm around him and he said, "Give us a kiss, Matty." And Matty said, "No, boys don't kiss boys." And Angry said, "Look at the cow. Look at the cow out there." And Matty turned around, looked at the cow, and Angry kissed him on the forehead. and he jumped back, rubbing his forehead. And then we took him to the hotel out there. And in those days, Strop and Delvine Delaney owned it. Strop out of Paul Hogan show. And she said, when she found out while we were there, she said, "Oh, wow." She said, "You can have all your food for nothing." And she came and sat down with us and all that. That was beautiful. And then, but there was a cop there was the boss of the from the drug squad. He ran
Yeah.
Make a Wish Foundation in Byron Bay.
Really?
So we had to be careful what we said. and this bloke came up to me and he said, I've got no money to donate for your cause. He said, I can see what you're doing. He said, but follow me. And we went to the toilet and he got a big bag of pot out and he said, here, this is all I can donate. He said, sell this and and that's my donation. I said, righto, mate. So I stuck it up my shirt. I went back in and told Angry Anderson, and Angry said, I smoke it, I'll take it back to Sydney with me. I said, yeah, righto. So I gave it to him and we smuggled it out while in front of the drug squad, Detective Sergeant from the drug squad.
That's sick.
And,
incredible.
And he took it back to Sydney with him, man.
Oh, holy.
But, and the boy died the next day.
Oh,
He was just hanging on to see go out with the 4 baldies.
yeah.
The newspaper came out, the local newspaper, and they titled it "The 4 Baldies." You know?
Oh,
And they had pictures of us there drinking and eating in the pub.
yeah, that's a great last hurrah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
great last hurrah.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
his mum, it was so, and he said to his mum, "Don't you cry at my funeral."
Yeah.
And she did, but she said, I promised him I wouldn't, but I broke my promise. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, it's sad.
it was very sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you see a lot of sadness through your tattoo shops because
Yeah.
the RIPs and all that, people come in to get names on them and of people that have passed away, and it's you sort of know the people too,
Yeah.
and you're tattooing them, and their emotions get into you.
Mm.
Like I find a lot of times when I'm tattooing people, I get their vibes into me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of you feel their feeling, what you're doing through the tattoo art,
Mm.
and how holding onto their skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's such a, I don't know, you're entwining your lives together when you do
Yeah.
that tattoo for that
Yeah.
person.
you are.
And it's,
And wherever you go, if you see them again, they run up to you and shake hands with you and say g'day to you.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh wow, I did that tattoo on that guy for so and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or you could do what Danny said, nah, that's not mine.
yeah,
Not mine, mate.
Yeah,
that wasn't
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
the big
Pete.
bloke. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Big Pete. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Big Pete, sorry.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
yeah.
So good.
no, I don't do shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. not mine.
But like he knew he did it, but he was stirring
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
yeah, yeah.
Because were you working out in Byron Bay for a bit?
Yeah. I had a shop there for I think 1993 to 2016.
Wow.
I had that and the Lismore shop at the same time.
Okay.
And Zach went over and ran that for me. Zach Smith, he worked with me for 10 years. And then Tommy Denham came along, and Tom's working on the Gold Coast now, but he worked with me for 16 years. And Gary Mooney from Melbourne, he came up and worked with me for a long time. He's passed away now.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
his son tattoos in Melbourne
That's
still.
it, yeah.
Matt
Matt Mooney,
Yeah.
yeah. He was a great tattooer, Gary, his dad.
Mm.
Yeah, and a really nice person now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, the intergenerational thing.
Yeah.
Because your kids are all tattooers, are they?
Yeah. Well, Anita tattoos in Brisbane,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and Angie tattoos here.
Yep.
And I did teach my son, but he went to uni and he wanted to use that. He's he got a science degree,
Sure.
Okay.
and he does stuff like that now.
Mm.
Awesome.
Yeah, but while he was doing uni, he was tattooing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a big thing, like intergenerational tattooers, like
Yeah.
all the Bowens and stuff.
Yes.
they all
Yeah,
tattoo.
all the
It's
Bowens.
great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
It's nice.
wherever you go, like there's a bloke I know, a tattooist I know in Rockhampton. His daughters are tattooing, and
Mm.
you look around the place and you say, oh, there's the kid
Yeah.
from the tattooist. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's working there.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's
It
cool.
is good.
I like it
Yeah.
because they come into it like Angie and Anita and that knew a real lot about tattooing when they came into it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, because they were part of it.
Yeah. You're born into it. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah. They were sort of one step ahead.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
When did you get them to start tattooing? Did you wait till they were 18 or?
No. I whenever, I didn't have an age on them,
No.
Mm.
but I did want them to do something else as well.
Yeah.
So Angie went to TAFE and did a jewellery course and things like that. Yeah.
Mm.
But Anita, she didn't sort of do much. as far as other work goes. But no, I just sort of didn't worry about things like that. Just when it felt right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. It's a
Yeah.
little bit more organic.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I didn't have the rules and regulations for them. I just you want to learn tattooing? Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start mopping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make a good cup of coffee.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
but the journey's been a great journey.
Yeah.
I said to my wife, I say to her a lot of times, if a bus ran me over tomorrow
Yeah.
and I lied on the ground dying, I'd think, gee, I've had a good journey.
Yeah.
And where are my legs?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about that
Yeah.
because we've been on the road, you have good chats. And I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I think that's all I want from life. I just want to get to the end and be like, yeah.
Had a good time.
Yeah, it's been good.
Been a good life.
Yeah, that's it,
Yeah, I've done a lot of different things in my life. I did
Yeah.
martial arts. I was
Really?
a national serviceman.
Wow.
Yeah, I did over 10 years in martial arts.
No way.
Zendukai in Brisbane,
Sick.
yeah. I got to probationary third dan.
Wow.
Yeah, and but those days are over now. I can hardly move from the arthritis I've got now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I always say to all the young tattooists, make sure you do a bit of stretching and a little bit of exercise, a bit of walking, even if you're not an athletic person,
Mm-hmm.
because it will catch
Yeah.
up with you just sitting there all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you do squats without weights
Yeah.
to get your legs working and all that sort of
For
stuff.
sure.
I always tell them, the young tattooists, do a bit, go out and do a bit, move about a bit.
Yeah.
See, when I started tattooing, I just went for it. 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Yeah, that's all you did. And you went home and went to bed.
Yeah.
Or you went to the pub and sat down in the pub.
Yeah.
And you got in your car and sat down. You just sat sitting down all your life.
Yeah.
And then after, I've been tattooing for 52 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, 51 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So after doing that, and I'm looking back on it, I thought, gee, I wish I had have done some more exercise. I did in the middle. I did 10 years martial arts,
Yeah.
but then I just chucked it in when I moved to Lismore
Yeah.
and never did another thing.
Mm.
So, I just, didn't do any exercise or anything.
Yeah. It
It's-
takes its toll on you, eh?
It's
Yeah.
super sound advice too.
Mm.
Like I'm sure everyone listening all the tattooers listening will
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
get a lot out of that because I think it's important too.
100%.
Yeah, you get your blood circulating there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We I think we run our bodies rampant sometimes. We got to give something back.
that's
you know?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to look after yourself, huh?
Yeah. You only get one
'Cause,
body.
Yeah, one chance at life.
Yeah.
A lot of people get that tattooed on one chance at life, huh?
Yeah.
So it's fair dinkum.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get back into stretching and getting
well,
massages.
well, I'm pretty lucky because I'm 77
yeah.
and I can still fire a tattoo on.
Yeah. Good
I
on
did a
you.
big
can.
back piece on a little girl yesterday, yeah,
Sick.
and I still design tattoos for people.
Yeah.
They come to me and ask me about things, and I draw them for them.
Yeah.
I don't say you've got to get it because I drew it,
Mm.
but most of them say yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like that. And
cool.
if it's a complicated one, I give them to Angie. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
course.
because I've lost it now with the coordination of my mind and hand doing fine work. I can't do it anymore. It just happens when you get older.
Yeah.
I just do the bulk sort of style of tattooing now.
Yeah.
Bulky stuff,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stuff that lasts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Heavy duty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big bold
with coil
lines.
machines.
That's the way.
I love
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I use 9 needle outliners and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I work. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you when you first started tattooing, Australia was like a round shader,
Yes.
like
yes.
country.
There was no such thing as a flat shader.
Yeah.
No.
There was or a magnum. When I started, we had I used to have to make all my own needles.
Yes.
You buy it in packs and solder them together.
Yeah.
We had the backs of watches and things, old-fashioned watches.
Mm-hmm.
You'd break them, go to the pawn shop and buy one and break it open
Yeah.
because it had all different holes in it, and you could get your right size needles through the holes.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, like the jig. Yeah, you
like
use
like
that as a jig.
Yeah. Then the Americans invented the jig,
Yeah.
so we use that. And but you put your needles in and level them all out at the point end,
Yeah.
and then solder the other end, and you could solder them to any way you wanted. Like when they were loose, we call them hairy Marys.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you'd shade people and the needles are wobbling around. Yeah. And then you'd make tight ones.
Yeah.
And you made all different size outliners and thicknesses. We used to use bug pins and needles.
Yes.
And the bug pins for fine line, yeah. But it was a whole different ball game.
Mm.
Yeah, you'd spend a Sunday, you'd go down to the shop and sold the needles all day the last year of the week, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you had to wash all that solder off, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I used to bath them in like metho and that to wash it off.
Yeah.
And heat the metho up and bath them in that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it did any damage to the tips because I wasn't a scientist. I didn't know. If they looked all right to me, I used to look through an eye loop, and they used to tattoo all right, so I assumed they were all right, yeah.
Yeah.
But then later on, when I started learning about health, they were saying, "Oh no, they wouldn't have been any good," and I thought, well, you know, I've 20 years of tattooing people like that,
Oh well.
and you know, nobody's complained about it or
Yeah.
got sick.
No.
Exactly.
And so, how far into your tattoo journey were you before you started using magnums?
Oh yeah, magnums. They came in first of all. Flat shaders came out.
Yeah.
Just a
Okay.
straight flat,
Mhm.
and I got a hold of some of them from America.
Yeah.
And then the Americans well, maybe the Americans didn't invent it, but they started getting a flat shader and moving every second needle out. You know, like
With
you'd
a razor blade?
Yeah, with a razor blade. So you'd have a flat shader
Yeah.
with needles moved out.
Yeah.
Then they got the idea of making magnums, yeah?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
stacking them.
Yeah, and stacked magnums or spread magnums, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mo
So-
Webley was telling us he was one of the first Australian guys to actually go to the States and do the conventions.
He
And-
was, yeah.
And he, it blew his mind the magnums that
Yeah.
they were using and what the Americans were doing.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And I don't know, it's crazy that Australia was using these round shaders for so long, and then
Yeah.
you know we got this information from the America,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just totally revolutionized tattooing in
Oh,
Australia.
it did.
Yeah.
You know, if you can use a magnum properly, you'd never go back to using a round for
For
shading.
sure.
No,
No, it's like using a crowbar
Yeah.
on somebody as opposed to a broom.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. It's I learned a lot from watching the Yanks,
Yeah.
yeah.
watching what they were doing. Yeah.
Did you ever get over to America?
No, I've never been out of Australia.
Oh, okay.
Really?
No,
Wow.
and I don't own a mobile phone.
That's okay.
Good on you.
I'm one of them old bums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's,
yeah.
Yeah.
When I was trying to tee up this
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
my friend Al, who's been tattooed by you a couple of times, I rang him. I said, "How do I contact Pete? What do you reckon the best way to contact Pete is?" He said, "You're gonna have to call the shop, man. You're either gonna have to call the shop or go in there." I was like, "Okay, I'll call the shop." And I was in Adelaide at the time,
Yeah.
and I called you up and spoke to you on the phone and organised this
Yeah.
this thing. So it must be very freeing not to have a mobile phone.
Yeah, I haven't deliberately done it. I just haven't got around to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, just like half. I suppose you could say I'm half hillbilly. As a lot of people would describe me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in me. You know, I'm just real old fashioned in my mind,
Yeah.
and yet I'm modern in tattoo art
Yes.
and all that. But it's just those technology. You know, I lack in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because so what? You would have learnt a lot from the Americans. Was it the Americans coming over here and tattooing, or was it stuff that other tattooers in Australia had learnt from the Americans that then taught you?
What other tattooists had learned, and plus, years ago when you used to order stuff from America,
Mm.
they just have drawings of things. You know, like their catalogues. They'd have a drawing of a magnum,
Yeah.
you know, hand drawn,
Okay.
a picture taken of it,
Yeah.
and I'd just copy all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, it was amazing. Like I can remember, I ordered some stuff from New Jersey in America, and I can't remember what year it was, but I got a fax machine. I bought a fax machine,
Oh yeah.
and I thought I'll try it out. So I sent an order over on it. An hour later, they contacted me. I nearly fainted.
Yeah.
I thought, holy hell, how'd they do that?
It came back through the fax machine?
Yeah.
That's cool.
No way.
I couldn't believe it.
That would have been bananas.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I said to my wife, look at this. And she said, yeah. She said, say, what's wrong with you?
would have been incredible technology back then.
It was.
And
Yeah, it was.
to send something like a
yeah.
piece of paper all the way to America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Danny, the bloke that started me,
Mm-hmm.
he went to America, and on the way back, he called into Hawaii and spent a week with Sailor Bill.
Okay.
Sailor Bill Jerry. And he told me when I went down to Melbourne the next time after Danny got back from America, he showed me all these things that Sailor Jerry taught him
Yeah.
Yes.
about needles, spreading needles different ways and all that.
Yeah.
Like he was still spreading them, like old Sailor was the same as us,
Yeah.
just spreading the needles, making them all himself. But he showed Danny all these different techniques
Holy.
about making needles, and Danny showed them to me too.
Yeah.
So that was from an American.
Because
Yeah.
he took a shine to literally not a single other
Yeah,
Australian.
he hated tattooers.
Sailor Jerry hated tattooers,
Yeah.
but Danny was one of the only tattooers that Sailor Jerry took a shine to.
Yeah, yeah.
And then apparently, like, metal work and stuff was really tricky and hard to get over in Honolulu. So then they started making like the bulldog frame
That's
down
right.
in Melbourne
They did
with
yeah.
Danny.
Yeah, they-
Sailor Jerry's bulldog
yeah,
frame.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was another bloke in Melbourne too called Des Connolly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And
was it Des?
Des was heavily
Yeah, it was
involved
Des,
with
yeah.
Sailor Jerry too.
Sorry, that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Danny and Des were best mates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they all Danny saw everything that Des was doing,
Okay.
and vice versa. And
Yeah.
and the sailor was involved.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was good that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then we started getting these designs into Australia.
Yeah.
I've got rolls of designs that are on tracing paper
Mm-hmm.
by Sailor Jerry. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Hand drawn?
yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, no
With
way.
the black pen. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly who got them or where they came from, but I ended up with them in my possession from Melbourne. Yeah,
No way.
somebody in Melbourne gave them to me.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
A tattooist called Gary Davis,
Yes.
who's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me a big pile of designs, and he told me they were Sailor Jerry designs. Yeah,
No way.
yeah. So there's no signature or anything on them.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just taking his word.
Yeah.
But they look like it to me. They're the same women, the same ships, the same everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
cool.
we were talking to Les Bowen about it, and like Sailor Jerry's designs were so far ahead of their time
Mm.
that we're still trying to catch up today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
You know?
right. Yeah, Les is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were so far ahead, and that's what Danny admired about him too. And he thought the same about Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Danny's wife, Bev, told me
Mm.
she was in Hawaii with him, and she said that he admired Danny's designs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing, isn't
That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
it? Yeah. So you don't know till you have a look around, do you?
For sure.
Like people say, "Oh, Australia, yeah, that little place down there, down under."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they come here and get the shock of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're the same as everywhere else.
Yeah.
And like I always say to my wife, people come in here and they can't speak English properly. The government's brought them over here to work on chicken farms in the.
Yeah.
We have chicken farms and things around here in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they bring all these migrants out on the short visas to work here in Australia.
Yep.
And they come in for tattoos here, and they can't even talk English properly.
Mm.
And yet, once you settle down with them and talk and tattoo them, they're identical to us.
Oh,
All they
yeah.
want is a beer or a whiskey or a rum and a tattoo, a good night, a nice meal,
Yeah.
and somewhere to sleep.
That's
They're,
it.
they're identical to us.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
nice.
that they look different and can't talk,
Yeah.
our language.
Yeah.
But when you get into tattooing, well, you'd probably know being a tattooist, you get into tattooing these people, and God, they're exactly the same as
Yeah.
us. They just look a bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and-
think tattooing is totally universal as well.
Oh yes, it's magic. It talks all languages, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it introduces people. Like, how many times have you been out and people say, "Oh, where'd you get your work done, mate?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
too
next
many
minute,
to
the
count.
next minute you're having a big conversation about tattoos and shaking hands and say, "Thanks, mate. See you later."
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
lovely.
it's great, isn't
Brings
it?
people together.
Yeah, and look, it's nice like that because there's not much of that about now with modern technology. People hide a bit, don't they? I go to a tattoo conventions and the tattooists got earphones on, listening to the music with their back to the people that
Yeah.
looking. Well, when I'm at a convention, like I tattoo at Sonia's one a couple of years ago, I face the people, no earphones, and I talk to them
Yeah.
while I'm tattooing. Huh?
You've got to.
Yeah, and it's nice, mate. That's how I operate now.
Yeah, it's cool.
I talk to people when they come in here.
Yeah.
G'day, mate. How are you? Even if I'm tattooing someone. Huh?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's important to be friendly.
Yeah, I think so. Because
Yeah.
especially if you reach my age, you think, oh wow, have I been a bit rude in my life? I'll calm down now. Yeah, it's nice to stay peaceful and passive with people.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you might need their help.
Exactly. Be
Yeah.
respectful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
think respect goes a long way.
100%.
With that.
It does. Yeah, most of the young tattooists I've met at all these shows I go to, they're really nice guys.
Mm.
You know, I don't care what anyone says about young people. All the ones I've met have been magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shake your hand, they talk to you nice and polite. And I've never found anything wrong with all the new breed that they're talking about.
Mm.
People are running them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you know, they're just nice people from a different era,
Yeah.
from
for
a
sure.
technology era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Will-
exactly.
Will you come and do some more expos?
yeah,
Will you-
yeah. I'm going up to the show this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to be
Yeah,
there as
the
well.
Sonics one. Hey, oh, good.
Right.
SEQ
yeah,
in
yeah.
Brisbane. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a booth with my daughter
Lovely.
and about 3 other people from her studio.
Awesome.
Excuse me.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
yeah.
going to be hopefully downstairs in the dungeon.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the downstairs.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
rowdy.
Yeah.
It's sick.
I like it down there.
Rad. We were off topic. We were talking to Mo, and he was talking about the shift from AC machines to the American DC machines.
Yep.
Did you notice like a big difference with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The AC,
Mm.
the spring doesn't touch the screw on the top.
Yeah.
You know, you have a gap
Yeah. Yeah.
and the power runs differently.
Okay.
With the DC, the spring had to touch the screw.
Yep.
So the power ran through it.
Okay.
Excuse me. And the switch was different. The ACs had a longer stroke.
Mm-hmm.
They were twice as loud. And they were, you could really pump the colour in them. Like there was a tattooist who's passed on now called Dutchy
Yes.
Yep.
from Sydney. He used to outline with a DC
Mm-hmm.
and shade with an AC.
Oh.
You'd have two separate power conversions
yeah.
units.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, because he couldn't break away from them.
Yeah.
But other tattooists just break away straight away.
Yeah.
But I break away straight away. I just changed straight over to the DC.
Mm.
But I found the DC was smoother.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put the colour in smoother.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of the ACs took a while to heal up.
Okay.
Yeah, because the way they thumped into your skin.
Yeah.
I've still got AC machines here.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, and about, I'm just trying to think, 3 or so years ago, or 4, I tattooed in Brisbane,
Yeah.
and I took the AC machines.
Really?
Yeah, so that people could hear the difference, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did one tattoo with them, and it was like being a beginner again.
Sick.
Because I got used to the DC.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
fucking Bronco. You're like,
yeah,
holy
yeah.
Yeah, Bradley.
I,
think.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, holy hell!
Ah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's really rad.
But it was good.
Ah, awesome.
But ACs you could go through buffalo hide.
Mhm.
They were that tough.
Wow.
You know, you just built it, huh?
Holy. Get it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. Bloody, yeah, we've had a lovely, lovely chat, but I think we're running up on time.
That's cool, right?
Yeah,
I've been enjoyed the chat.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
It brought back a lot of memories for me.
Hmm.
You don't realise what you know until you start thinking and talking to people
Yeah, exactly.
and thinking about what you're talking about. And I thought, holy hell, I forgot about that. I forgot about old Bill and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing I failed to mention, I was lucky too when I first got into tattooing.
Mhm.
It's probably because, I'm not just saying this to boast, but because I was polite, I seemed to get along with a lot of the older tattooers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an old tattooist in Melbourne called Bill Finesse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard of
Well, when
Finesse.
Bill died, he left me all his photo albums and everything, yeah?
Really?
And I've still got them today. I take them to the conventions with me.
Wow.
And there's no tattoos in them. It's just pictures of him tattooing in Melbourne.
Sick.
Yeah, in the 30s.
Wow.
And I have 3 of his old machines from the 30s too.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, it was just, I was just lucky. His wife rang me after they'd buried him and all that.
Mm.
And she said, can you come to Melbourne? I got some stuff for you. I said, really? I was in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, Bill's left you some stuff.
Wow.
It was only a little box full of stuff,
Mm.
but it was just so nice. And I couldn't believe it. I nearly cried.
Oh.
And then same with Wally Hammond died.
Mm.
He died in Brisbane,
Yeah.
and from the King's Cross days. And his daughter came round and she saw, Wal wanted you to have this. It was only a couple of magazines and books, but she said, Wal wanted you to have these.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow,
Yeah.
how nice is that?
It's so nice.
That's so cool.
Mate. It makes you, weakens you.
That's nice.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a lesson to us all, you know. We're all different people. We all come from different walks of life, but I think if there's anything that can be learned from your career as a tattooer is that, you know, you should always respect everyone and treat everyone politely.
Yeah. I think so, because you get into a lot of trouble if you don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of snobbery if you're rude, and that people just don't want to know you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the tattooists I know, look, honestly, I can't say anything wrong about them. Yeah?
Mm.
They're the ones I meet at conventions and things, and even from the new days,
Yeah.
they're really nice people. I might be biased, but that's how I feel. Yeah?
That's nice.
Like, well, look at you guys. You're sitting here talking to me like as if I've known you for 20 years.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
really nice, mate.
Oh, lovely.
It's a nice world to be in.
It's
Isn't
lovely
that
to
the
be
tattoo
here.
world?
Yeah,
It is.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's something else.
Yeah, tattooers are the best people I know.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, I fully agree. I feel so comfortable amongst tattooers
Mm.
and other groups I can't go and join in.
Yeah.
You know, other clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
But I like tattooers and roughheads.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the roughheads, I seem to get along with them great now.
Sick.
Yeah.
Rad.
Well, on that, thank you so much for having
Yeah,
us in
well-
your shop.
Well, thanks for coming all the way here to see me, because the
Oh.
casino is a long way out of everyone's way.
No, it's
So I really appreciate you coming here.
no problem.
It's been an absolute honor.
yeah. Thanks for
thank you.
having us.
Anyway,
All right. On that note, goodbye. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.